Yes, we are back live this week. I decided to take a 3-day weekend last week just because. It's been a busy last few months of local sports, especially with so many of our teams going deep in the playoffs. So I figured, time to take a bit of a break and recharge and get my next book reformatted and loaded onto Kindle. So, folks, look for book number 22 from yours truly soon, a World War I sci-fi tale, The Red Baron versus Mothman. Never imagined myself writing a novel set in World War I, especially since I'm a huge World War II history buff. But after watching the Great War Week by Week series on YouTube, hosted by Indy Nidell, who this week released the 24 Hours of D-Day special that I highly recommend checking. You guys check that out. But between that and one of my favorite metal bands, Sabaton, releasing 2 albums about World War I over the past 4 years, well, it piqued my interest in that conflict to the point I wrote a book set during that time period. So, Red Baron versus Mothman, with the cover design by our producer for Tri-City Sports Roundup and the Rust Rants podcast, CJ Siegfried. That is coming out soon. Also, this week, we had championships out the wazoo. The Stanley Cup Finals are going on, featuring a battle of 2 non-traditional hockey markets with Vegas and Florida. A couple of pretty entertaining teams to watch, I'll tell you that. And you know what? At least the Rangers and the Penguins won't be winning the cup this year. And neither will my New Jersey Devils, because we decided to poop the bed against Carolina. NBA Finals are also going on this week between Denver and Miami, with the good news being that there is no chance for frowny-face LeBron winning another championship. Though there is a chance of people throwing shade at Nikola Jokic, and don't understand why you have a bunch of people in the sports media who want to deny just how incredibly talented this guy is. Now, my theory, I think they're a bunch of LeBron stans, and no one must be allowed to usurp the king. Also, College Softball World Series took place this week, with Oklahoma winning it all for the 3rd straight year. And there's even controversy with that because the Lady Sooners have been criticized for, gasp, celebrating too much, because we can't have athletes showing emotion. No, that won't do. Athletes must be robots. How dare they act like human beings and, gasp, have fun. Oh, the horror. Well, for all the killjoys out there criticizing Oklahoma softball for excessive celebrations, I have some advice for you. Come here. Go to the doctor and have that enormous redwood surgically removed from your backside. I don't know how many times I've said this in the past. Sports is entertainment, and watching athletes do all sorts of celebrating is entertaining. And I've read a couple of articles on this issue, and there have been allegations of double standards, saying that male athletes would not be criticized for doing the stuff that Oklahoma softball is doing. I don't know if that's true. Me personally, I think it's just a bunch of super duper serious sports people who just have an allergic reaction to anything that smacks of fun. I mean, they take a page out of that one scene from the movie Remember the Titans and turn it into, you think sports is fun? No, sir. Zero fun, sir. Well, I have no problem with Oklahoma or any other softball team wanting to celebrate and get emotional. So, stop trying to turn sports into a joyless landscape like Major League Baseball has done. Yeah. Check out that episode I did on my Rust Rants podcast. Came out earlier this week. That's on our YouTube channel, KYCA Digital. But here at the Tri-City Sports Roundup, we're all about making sports fun. And we're going to do that today as we start our summer tradition here on the show, and that is our top 10 lists. all throughout the summer. We will announce the top 10 local male athletes of the year, the top 10 local female athletes of the year, the top 10 games of the year, the top 10 local grads at college of the year, the top 10 coaches of the year, the top 10 teams of the year, and for today, we start things off by celebrating the newbies of the local sports world with our top 10 local freshmen of the year. And I got to tell you something, folks. This was a bit of a hard list to come up with because, believe it or not, for this year's list, we had 27 candidates for top 10 local freshmen of the year. Boy, oh boy, it took a lot of effort to try to slim that list down to the top 10. But I'll tell you what, we definitely have a strong top 10 freshman list for this year. So you know what? We've all been waiting for this. So no more dilly-dallying. Let's get started here with number 10. There's usually a big learning curve for an athlete when they go from middle school to high school. Well, unless you're this young lady, not long after she stepped onto the mat, she got the hang of wrestling at the high school level. She notched one win after another and became one of the standout grapplers on her team. But how would she fare when she competed in postseason competition for the first time at the high school level? Well, she crushed it. She came away as the section champ at 107 pounds and qualified for the state meet. She concluded her first season in the high school ranks with a record of 21-9. So the future certainly looks bright for this girl. Congratulations to Liliana Rodriguez of the Chino Valley Girls Wrestling Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup, number 10 local freshman of the year. Now, moving on to number 9. Some freshmen are just happy when they crack the varsity lineup, maybe even surprised. But as far as being a top contributor to the team, well, especially in a sport like basketball, that's usually left to the juniors and the seniors. Note, I use the word usually because her squad relied on her a lot, both offensively and defensively, and despite her youth, she did not feel the pressure of her role at all. She averaged 10.4 points per game, putting her at number 8 in the Grand Canyon region in that category. She also led the region with 269 rebounds. How many freshman players lead the region in a category like that? Her 71 steals tied her for 4th most in the region, and for good measure, throw in 31 assists and 12 blocks. She proved her worth in all facets of the game, and it earned her a place on the All Grand Canyon region first team. She is definitely going to be an important piece of the puzzle for her team over the next 3 years. So congratulations to Bella Apt of the Prescott girls basketball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup, number 9 local freshman of the year. Now, before we go to break, we're going to squeeze in one more here, and that is number 8. Her play may have gone unnoticed by many since there wasn't much in her stat line, but that's how it is when you're a defender. And in her first year of high school soccer, she embraced her role. A key component of the backfield, she helped hold the opposition to a total of 15 goals on the season and aided in 7 shutout wins. All that allowed her team to advance to the Elite 8 of the state tournament. Her shutdown play earned her major honors. First, she was selected to the All Grand Canyon Region team, or All Grand Canyon Region first team. Then she made the All 4A Conference second team. Now that's a heck of a freshman season for this young lady, and no doubt she will spend the next 3 years making life miserable for opposing offenses. So congratulations to Margaret Maneely of the Prescott girls soccer team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup, number 8 local freshman of the year. So folks, we are just getting started with our summer top 10 list, our top 10 local freshmen of the year. We got plenty more to go. Who is going to be the number 1 local freshman of the year? Place your bets, place your bets. figuratively speaking, because we ain't going to be handing out any money for you placing bets in your home or wherever you are right now. Anyway, folks, 928-541-1016, number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Again, 928-541-1016. Going to a break here. We will be back with more of our top 10 local freshmen of the year right after this. We are back on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here as we kick off our summer top 10 list today. It is the top 10 local freshmen of the year, celebrating our rookies at our local high schools and colleges. One of those rookies is our number 9 local freshman of the year, and that is Bella Apt of the Prescott girls basketball team. Let's find out a little more about Bella and the terrific season she had and the reasons why she is on our list. Let's go to the phones right now, and on the line with us, we have Jamie Johnson. She is the head coach of the Prescott girls basketball team. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, John. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You got it. And, well, Bella Apt, I think we're looking at a pretty special player here. And kind of like I said on my read-through of her accomplishments in 2022, 2023, not very often that you get a freshman cracking a varsity roster. But not only did she crack it, she was a pivotal, a key component of Prescott this year, not just scoring-wise, but in all facets of the game. What was it about Bella where even though she was a freshman, she went out there and she just did whatever you needed her to do on the court?
Well, she's just that kid that's just intrinsically motivated. She pushes herself. She's pretty hard on herself. She's got a lot of goals. She just wants to give everything. A lot of what she accomplishes is just because of her effort. She's just like that go-getter kind of kid. Mm-hmm. And that's where she gets the job done a lot, because when we started in middle school, she was point guard, and she is a lengthy kid. She's got some height. She's super athletic. And so I told her, it's going to be the kind of case where I play you down low a little bit. And I think she looked at me, she was shell-shocked, and she was nervous. And, at the end, she ended up, if you look at Arizona Prep, she ended up leading our region in double-doubles. So it just tells you what kind of, motivation and athleticism she has.
Yeah, because, along with all her accomplishments, she puts up some great stats. But for a freshman to lead the region in a category like rebounds, pulling down 269, that's certainly not something you see every day. Like I said, a freshman leading the region in that kind of category.
No, that's just unbelievable, really. There's no telling, where this kid can go with this sport and where she can go with her life. She's just that kind of kid. She's straight A's, hard worker, just good-hearted. It's super exciting for her and for our program.
And I think the other thing that impressed me about Bella is just her composure, because I know the times I've interviewed her, and sometimes when you interview freshmen, especially freshman female athletes, they can get really nervous and not really know what to say, but really didn't have that problem with Bella. She's a pretty cool cucumber when it comes to not just being on the court, but also just being able to talk to other people and being able to conduct interviews.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'll take her a long ways, too.
Okay. Well, hey, Coach Johnson, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. And again, thanks for giving us a little more information on Bella Apt, who we named our number 9 local freshman of the year here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right. Have a good one, Coach.
You too.
All right. Again, that is Coach Jamie Johnson of the Prescott girls basketball team. And, well, let's get back to our top 10 local freshman of the year list. We are at number 7. She spent the whole season racking up one basket after another to the point she registered double-digit points in 22 of the 28 games she played in. That also included 7 games where she recorded double-doubles. When the season ended, she put together one impressive stat line. Her 16.2 points per game was the 3rd best average in the ACCAC. She also grabbed 211 rebounds, the 7th most in the conference, and was 6th in the conference in blocks with 24. She rounded it out with 66 assists and 41 steals. In mid-December, she put together a 2-game stretch that saw her post 56 points and 27 rebounds, which got her named the Junior College National Player of the Week. She also wrapped up her first season of collegiate ball by being named to the All-Conference second team. Look for her to keep dropping in a ton of points next season. Congratulations to Kashaya Anderson of the Yavapai College women's basketball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 7 local freshman of the year. And we're going to find out a little more about Kashaya and what made her such a phenomenal player for Yavapai women's basketball, because we have their coach on the phone with us right now, and that is none other than Gerard Carmichael. Glad he could join us here for the show. Hey, Coach Carmichael, good morning, and thank you for being with us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Dude, I'm doing okay, Coach. So, Kashaya Anderson, certainly just one of the biggest contributors to Yavapai in their first season back on the court in over a decade. So, what was it about Kashaya where she just came to your team and immediately became one of the big guns in your lineup?
Oh, man, she was a blessing to our basketball team. She is such a phenomenal athlete. And one of the things you guys don't get to see, you get to see the games, and I heard all the stats, and she lived up to all that. But her work ethic, her practice routine is just phenomenal. She stays focused all practice long. She works hard, wins all the sprints, just challenges herself every practice to get better. And her attitude is just going to make her sophomore year even more incredible to watch.
And, I mean, obviously, it maybe was a little tough for Yavapai since you guys did come back. I think it was pretty much an all-freshman team, so there were, no leadership roles. I guess people trying to figure out, well, who's going to be doing what. And I guess certainly kudos to Kashaya for, kind of stepping up and certainly becoming, one of those leaders out there on the court and, a young lady who, everyone can look to as someone that they can depend on for not just scoring, but grabbing rebounds, grabbing steals, and becoming one of the top blockers in the ACCAC as well.
Incredible at 5'6", 5'7". Yeah, she just played really well. Had a great season, and don't forget what she did in the classroom too. A 3.0 GPA, and then the service work in the community. She went out to the Salvation Army, helped them load trucks, made some blankets for the foster kids in the community. Did some volunteer work at the YMCA. She's just an all-around great kid, and I'm so glad she's a part of our program.
And certainly a part of the community, because I think that's definitely something we like to see with players from Yavapai, players from Embry-Riddle, who, come from outside the area, sometimes way outside the area, but they come in here and they make themselves valuable members of our community, not just for what they do in athletics, but like you were saying with Kashaya, going out in a town where she's not a native of and doing all kinds of things to help make our community that much better.
Yeah, she was really fun to have. She's going to be even better next year. Can't wait.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, Coach Gerard Carmichael from the Yavapai women's basketball team. Want to thank you very much for coming in here, talking about Kashaya Anderson. And I guess he's already hung up. So,
Hey, Scott, is that on my end?
all right. Apologies on that, folks. It looks like Coach Carmichael hung up a little too quickly there, but we got that taken care of. So anyway, thank you to Coach Carmichael for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Roundup this morning. Let's get back to the top 10 list, folks. We're at number 6. She swung a pretty good bat, but it was her glove that really impressed everyone. Playing at second base, she committed just 3 errors over the course of 50 games. Along with her steady defense at second base, she batted .397, the 4th best average in the Cal-Pac Conference, with 5 home runs, 35 RBIs, 16 doubles, tying her for second most in the conference, 46 runs scored, the 4th most in the conference, and a .596 slugging percentage. Along with helping her team reach the NAIA World Series for the second year in a row, she made the All-Cal-Pac team and was named the Cal-Pac Conference Defensive Player of the Year. And we'll get to marvel at her defensive prowess for 3 more years. Congratulations to Leah Solis of the Embry-Riddle softball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 6 local freshman of the year. Moving on, we're at number 5. Her first race at the NAU Tune-Up was a good one as she finished in the top 10 of the 3,000-meter run. She turned in more impressive performances during the regular season, including a top 10 finish in the 5,000-meter run at the Pomona Pitzer Invitational. Then came the big one, the CalPAC Championship meet, and that's where she really came into her own. She competed in the 10,000-meter run and won it. Along with her championship, she also placed third in the 5,000-meter run. That qualified her for the NAIA National Meet, where she placed 27th in the 10K. A terrific first season running at the collegiate level, and more success is certainly on tap for this young lady over the next 3 seasons. Congratulations to Tiffany Terry of the Embry-Riddle Distance Track Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 5, Local Freshman of the Year. Now, it's number 4. We've got another young lady who was also an outstanding runner in her first year in the college ranks, and she was outstanding in an event you don't see at the high school level, the 3,000-meter steeplechase, where you don't just run, you also have to jump over water pits. But she took to this event quickly, coming in 4th at the Willie Williams Classic and 2nd at the Pomona Pitzer Invite. But it was at the CalPAC Championship meet where she truly shined. She outran and outjumped everyone for a first-place finish in the steeplechase. That earned her a spot at the NAIA National Meet, where she finished 20th place in the steeplechase. She had a phenomenal freshman season with no doubt 3 more phenomenal seasons to follow. Congratulations to Savannah Ganter of the Embry-Riddle Distance Track Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 4 Local Freshman of the Year. Now we're at number 3. He won 109 matches in the state championship in high school, but would that success translate to college? Well, since he's on this list, the answer is, of course, yes! In his first collegiate competition at the Falcon Invitational in Kansas, he won 5 matches and finished in 4th place at 141 pounds. He then had a 3rd place finish at the Doug Moses Open in Las Vegas and kept notching wins throughout the regular season. Then came the championships of the Cascade Collegiate Conference, one of the toughest conferences for wrestling in the entire NAIA. How would this rookie fare against all that stellar competition? By winning the conference championship at 141 pounds and qualifying for the national tournament. He ended his first season of collegiate wrestling with an impressive 22-10 record and looks to be a key contributor for his team for the next 3 years. Congratulations to Carson Coy of the Embry-Riddle Wrestling Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 3 Local Freshman of the Year. Now we're at number 2. It's a lot to ask of a freshman pitcher in college to be the number 2 starter in the rotation, but this young lady embraced the role and thrived in it. Her 17 wins tied her for first in the CalPAC Conference, while her 104 strikeouts were the 4th most in the conference. She also posted a 3.11 ERA, the 8th best in the conference, while throwing 126 innings, 5th most in the conference, and notching 12 complete games, which tied her for 3rd most in the CalPAC. All those stats helped propel her team into the CalPAC playoffs and a 2nd straight conference title, followed by a trip to the NAIA World Series. Not only did her performance earn her a spot on the All-CalPAC team, she was voted the CalPAC Pitcher of the Year in her first collegiate season. Pitching certainly won't be an issue with her around for the next 3 seasons. Congratulations to Claire Streeter of the Embry-Riddle softball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 2 Local Freshman of the Year. So, guess where that leaves us? Yes, even I can do this math. Number 1. Who takes the top spot for our top 10 Local Freshman of the Year this year? Well, I'm not going to tell you right now because we have to pay some bills and take a break. But when we come back, we unveil the 2022-2023 number 1 Local Freshman of the Year. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup, everyone. John Rust with you here on this Saturday morning as we kick off our summer top 10 list with the top 10 local freshmen of the year. Before we get to number 1, let's just recap numbers 10 through 2. Number 10, Liliana Rodriguez of Chino Valley Girls Wrestling. Number 9, Bella Apt of Prescott Girls Basketball. Number 8, Margaret Manili of Prescott Girls Soccer. Number 7, Kashaya Anderson of Yavapai Women's Basketball. Number 6, Leah Solis of Embry-Riddle Softball. Number 5, Tiffany Taylor of Embry-Riddle Distance Track. Number 4, Savannah Ganter of Embry-Riddle Distance Track. Number 3, Carson Coy of Embry-Riddle Wrestling. Number 2, Claire Streeter of Embry-Riddle Softball. And now, number 1. If there was ever an athlete who embodied the famous Teddy Roosevelt saying of speak softly and carry a big stick, it's this young lady from Hawaii. It didn't take long for this soft-spoken rookie to establish herself as the go-to power hitter for her team. She led the CalPAC Conference in both home runs with 10 and RBIs with 57, and was also 5th in slugging percentage at .651. In addition, she hit .356 with 7 doubles, 3 triples, and 29 runs scored. All that production not only helped her make the CalPAC playoffs and win the whole darn thing, it also earned her a couple of nice awards. She was named to the All-CalPAC team and was voted the CalPAC Conference Freshman of the Year. Look for her to continue to put up gaudy numbers for her remaining 3 years in college. Congratulations to Autumn Salusi of the Embry-Riddle softball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup 2022-2023 number 1 local freshman of the year. And let's talk a little bit more about Autumn Salusi, along with her teammates who also made the list. That would be Leah Solis and Claire Streeter on the line with us right now. We have the head coach of the Embry-Riddle softball team, the back-to-back CalPAC champion Embry-Riddle softball team, and that is Coach Nicole Hennessy. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
And I believe you're out on the road right now. We're in California, the Pacific Northwest, trying to get more great players to come to the Embry-Riddle softball team, right?
That's right. I'm out here at Zoom into June for Triple Crown.
All right. And, well, Coach, you had 3 of your players make our top 10 local freshman of the year list. And let's start off with the player who was our number 1 local freshman, Autumn Salusi. And kind of like I said, this is really just a soft-spoken young lady. At least when I'm out there interviewing her, she's soft-spoken, but she really speaks loudly when she brings that bat to the plate because, boy, oh boy, taking 2 out of the 3 Triple Crown categories for the CalPAC Conference this year, you don't often see a freshman player lead the conference in home runs and RBIs like Autumn did.
No, she is absolutely lethal. Anywhere in the lineup, it doesn't matter. She can produce numbers and get the job done for us. So I feel very lucky to have her for another 3 years.
So what was it about Autumn that she was able to do this? Because obviously as a freshman, she's going up against pitchers who I'm sure have been in the CalPAC Conference for 2, 3, even 4 years, very experienced pitchers. So what was about Autumn where she was a freshman, she was able to come in and she was able to knock around all those experienced pitchers?
Yeah, I think when she realized that she had to get out of her own way and just swing the bat like she knows how, it kind of clicked for her, and that's when she was able to take off and really do some damage for us.
I think another thing with Autumn is, okay, yeah, she didn't make the all CalPAC defensive team like 3/4 of your infield did, but from the games I was at there for Embry-Riddle softball, she played even though she didn't make the all CalPAC defensive team, she played a pretty steady defensive job at third base for you.
Oh, absolutely. She knows her line really well, and we feel very comfortable having her over there and confident that she'll get the job done for us. So happy to have her there.
Well, speaking of getting the job done, another young lady who got the job done for you was in the circle, and that was Claire Streeter, who was our number 2 local freshman of the year. And there are probably some of our listeners who could probably make a good case that Claire should be the number 1 local freshman of the year. I mean, here you have a freshman coming in, not only does well for you in the circle, but so well that she's actually named the CalPAC Pitcher of the Year.
Yes, Claire is just something special. I all year had bragged that she's going to be our dark horse and get the job done for us, and she really embodied number 2 second ace position that we had. So very happy with how she did this year.
And kind of like I said with Autumn, but just in reverse, here you have a freshman coming in, and now she has to pitch to all sorts of experienced college players who are in their second, third, fourth year. So what was Claire able to do in order to keep those really experienced batters from getting to her too much?
We had to talk a little bit about, her role and identity shifting from how she performed in travel in high school, that strikeout pitcher that no one could touch, to coming up to the next level and really understanding that you can be both a strikeout pitcher and a contact and let your defense work. So once she got comfortable with that and trusted the defense behind her, then she was really able to just thrive and excel in the circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like actually, when you look at it, because you have two pretty young pitchers out there. You've got Claire, you got Vanessa Brink, who is only a sophomore this year, and unfortunately had that ankle injury toward the end of the year in the postseason. But even with Vanessa out, along with Kate Delaney, Claire also really stepped it up during the playoffs as well.
Yes, we have an incredible pitching staff, and I like to say that we've got, 3 to 4 aces in the bullpen, not really a 1, 2, and 3. And so I feel very, very fortunate to have inherited this pitching staff and that they're all willing to step up and get the job done and want the ball.
And, of course, another one who made our list, Leah Solis, coming in as the number 6 local freshman of the year. And this is certainly a young lady who played an incredible second base for you. Like I said in my read-through, you had 50 she was in 50 games this season, only made 3 errors. And that is certainly quite an accomplishment for a freshman coming in, starting second base, and just having a phenomenal year with the glove.
Yeah, she's something special. She came in as a shortstop, and with that bat, I had to find a spot for her. So she was able to step up and step into that second base starting role. And, man, she did the job for us, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And again, to become the defensive player of the year when you have so many other talented upperclassmen throughout the Cal-Pac Conference, that certainly says a lot to her athletic ability. Like I said, not just coming in and being a great defender as a freshman, but like you said, having to learn an entirely new position, moving over from short to second, and just quickly grasping all the aspects that come with being a good second baseman.
Absolutely. There's some big shoes to fill there. Maddie Judge was also Defensive Player of the Year, and she had an injury this year, so she was able to help mentor Leah as well as Diana Montano and kind of push her to excel in that position despite it not being her normal comfort zone.
I think the cool thing with Leah is, I saw her make all kinds of outstanding plays, diving plays and ranging plays this year. But, kind of going back to what I hear for a lot of major leaguers who've won Gold Gloves in the past, a lot of the stuff is, don't just look at the highlight reel catches, the web gem catches they make. Look at how they make the routine plays. And yeah, as much as we all like seeing Leah make these great plays, she was also very good at just making those routine plays that you don't get all hyped up about, but that are still very important.
No, absolutely. Fundamentally, she is sound and a wall for us over there. So.
And I think the other thing with Leah is, while we all celebrate her defensive skills and while she certainly earned the Cal-Pac Defensive Player of the Year award, you also got to look at what she did for you with the bat, because she was in top 10 in quite a few offensive categories for you this year.
Yeah, the girl can swing it. That is no doubt. She's had a lot of growth, too. In the fall, she's going to kill me for saying this, but she was scared to swing. And it came down to just asking, well, are you going to miss it if you don't swing? And the answer is obviously yes. So what do you have to lose by swinging it? And it was just a light bulb moment of, like, why not? Why not swing? Why not crush this pitcher? And now here we are at the end of her freshman year, and the numbers speak for herself. She's an incredibly talented kid.
Mm-hmm. And again, you had 3 of your freshmen make our Tri-City Sports Roundup Top 10 Local Freshman of the Year list. Autumn Salusi, number 1, Claire Streeter, number 2, Leah Solis, number 6. But you've also got a couple more freshmen there on your roster who really started coming on strong in the second half of the season. And when you look at the core that you have for this freshman class, well, now sophomore class for you, the future is really looking bright for Embry-Riddle over the next 3 seasons.
It is. I feel very lucky to have inherited them, and we learned later on in the season that I could just plug anyone in and they were going to be able to get the job done. And I mean, that's not really normal for a rookie class. So excited for their future.
And well, like you said, you're out in California right now. You're going on a pretty big recruiting trip throughout the West here in the month of June. You already got one recruit locked up, but I guess we're probably not going to be looking at a big recruiting class for Embry-Riddle softball this year because pretty much the bulk of your roster from this past season is going to be back next season.
Correct. Yes, I will have 11 seniors this coming year. So I currently have 2 24s committed, but I'm looking to add a few more just to kind of balance that out. But I'm excited. I mean, the future, like you said, it's very bright for Embry-Riddle, and hopefully I can continue the success and keep building on it.
Yeah, especially since after this coming season, you're going to be moving over to the Golden State Athletic Conference. But, again, when you look at the freshmen that we talked about here on this list, looks like the Lady Eagles are going to be very ready to compete at the GSAC when you get there.
Absolutely. I mean, I've already been packing our schedule with a lot of those teams that we're going to be in conference with this last year and this coming year, and we can compete with them, and they're going to challenge us, and that's what we want. So I'm excited.
All right. Nicole Hennessy, head coach of the Embry-Riddle softball team. Want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, talking about your 3 players who made our top 10 local freshmen of the year list. Leah Solis at number 6, Claire Streeter at number 2, and our number 1 local freshman of the year, Autumn Salusi. Coach, again, thank you very much for joining us here. Best of luck with your recruiting trip this month.
Thank you, John.
All right. Again, that is Nicole Hennessy of the Embry-Riddle softball team. And folks, we are wrapped up with our first top 10 list of the summer, and we got plenty more to come throughout the summer. Well, at least on those Saturdays when I'm not going to be on vacation, because I will have a couple weeks off coming up here soon. Just really taking some time to relax. Got a couple of really cool concerts coming up, including Dream Theater in July, late July. So definitely looking forward to seeing them in concert. And, of course, the joke among all us metalheads is, Dream Theater, they're going to play a 90-minute set, so that's good for about 3 songs. Yeah, Dream Theater has a reputation of playing long songs, but they're all good songs, so who cares? Anyway, folks, coming up next week on our show, we will have the top 10 local teams of the year. And this is going to be a pretty difficult list to put together as well, because we just had so many teams make the postseason, go deep into the postseason, get close to winning championships, in some cases winning championships. So not going to be easy coming up with 10 teams to put on this list. When I try to remember how many candidates, I think I got maybe 18 candidates on that list or something like that. But going to be a tough one. So definitely looking forward to that list coming up next week. Who will make our 2022-2023 top 10 local teams of the year? Tune in next week to find out. And as the summer progresses, we'll have all kinds of other top 10 lists. We've got the top 10 local coaches of the year, the top 10 local grads at college of the year. Then, as I call them, our big 3, the top 10 local games of the year, top 10 local female athletes of the year, top 10 local male athletes of the year. Lots of good candidates spread throughout all those lists. Going to be fun putting them together, seeing who makes it. And you know what? You can go to our Facebook page and check out our live stream broadcast here. And you can leave your comments, too, on if you think the lists I put together are correct, if you think I've left someone off the list, if someone on the list should be moved up higher on the list. We'd love to hear your feedback on that, to tell me how right, tell me how wrong I am. Either way, we'll take the comments. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Thank you very much for joining us here on the News 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, KYCA.info online, also on the KYCA Facebook page. And also don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, KYCA Digital, where you can catch my podcast, Rust Rants. We drop new episodes every Tuesday through Friday. You can also catch episodes of the Mulligan Group with Jason Zinzaletta, Malcolm Barrett Jr., Phil King, Bob Rucker, talking about all kinds of interesting stuff going on in our local area and the world in general. So all that is up on our YouTube channel. Well, that's going to do it for this show, folks. So stay tuned for local news, followed by the Dr. Hancock Show, and we will see you again next week. Have a good one.